Hi, nice to see you back. We did the C-level. We heard about C-level decision making and what it means to do GDSE remotely and how a CIO, a CEO thinks about this. But what did COVID change? What did COVID bring to the thinking? Well, first of all, I'm not sure whether you realize it or not, but remote working, people working from home, has for a long time been the number one priority for C-level for a long time, especially in the early stages, where they ran task forces, where they had to ship equipment to people. So the focus of the knowledge and the experience at the C-level about remote working, and so also about many of the GDSE practices, has been number one, which really elevated also the thinking and the acceptance at board level about what it takes to work remote and why offshoring, nearshoring, remote working is in many cases challenging. It's not because they read it from a paper or they heard it from others or the suppliers trying to convince them. No, they experienced it themselves. And not just on the side, no. It has been their prio one. So post-COVID, you really see that also management knowledge and directive decision making has been much more improved because they know, they've had experiences. So also the challenges they sometimes try to put on their suppliers or on their remote engineers, they're away. They've experienced themselves. They also have been on the other side. They have been in remote and distributed board meetings where they were not understood and stuff like this. So overall, I think if you look to the capabilities and the acceptance at C-level of the challenges and the solutions for remote working, GDSE benefits from this largely. One thing comes too on the C-level is that thanks to COVID or thanks to the post-COVID period, we see a shift from cost focus at the management level, at the director level, but you also seen in the videos, more to the capability experience level. There's many reasons to work distributed. There's many reasons to do GDSE. I think personally that the expertise, the distance to customers, taking benefits of time advantages is the best one, and cost should be a secondary. But you still see in larger organizations they had a strong cost focus. But thanks to COVID, it moved away because it's much more on the result and it's much more on the capability, getting teams that deliver. And especially post-COVID it changed because what we got was what we called the big quit, the great resignation, especially in the USA, where post-COVID many people started to think about who am I, what do I really want, what makes me happy. And some people actually said, I like the remote working. In fact, I would like to work from anywhere. So they moved around, changed jobs and stuff. So the good thing is that, let's say, that also involved synchronous working, asynchronous working, having work policies, hybrid working, and that all comes from the boardroom. So let's say the COVID period for this type of decisions making, also that you've seen in the videos, elevated strongly because of the experience and the knowledge. And it's also, of course, that they gain knowledge themselves. So it's not just software engineers have a harder time. No, they know what the hard time is because they've been it themselves. Thirdly, you see also that, let's say, thanks to the COVID period and the working from home period, is that the focus from office presence has moved much more from being there, working, being available, being in the office, to output, impact. What are you actually producing? Because when people were working from home, you couldn't monitor it. It didn't make sense to see whether they were there or maybe they worked in the morning. They used scatter time, so it doesn't really matter. So what did you need? Where is the control? Think about the Carmel and Egerwall model. And the control is in results. So because of the COVID and remote working and the focus from C-level to output and impact, it also helped distributed Agile largely. Because the short iterations of Agile, give the focus on the impact and the results. So overall, you see management moving from you have to be in the office, I have to see you working, to a way of looking at it. Doesn't really matter or really bother where you are as long as you deliver the work. So post-COVID, we see big changes happening for C-level, but I think in many cases to the good, because they have the experience, they accepted remote working, and they're focusing on the impact, they're focusing on the output of the teams. And that's what it should all count for. So, that's what it did to the C-level decision making. If you're interested what it has done to offshoring and research, go to Module 5 and I'll see you there.